Hello, everyone. This is Chris from Feldgrau Productions. That's correct. This is no longer Pain and Glory. This is Feldgrau Productions, a change of name for reasons that will become clear over the course of the rest of the year. Now, I'm a big fan of 10mm fantasy STLs and 3D printing them. A lot of people use them for Warmaster. I'm using them for other rules, but I think there are a lot of great creators out there. There's not one great central place of keeping track of what all of these creators are making. And so I've decided I want to do a bit of a roundup every month of what's coming out on Patreon, and also for those creators that don't have a Patreon, what has come out in the past month. So this is going to be the very first one for March. Hopefully I've gotten as many of them as I possibly could. If you have suggestions for those Patreons or non-Patreon creators that I've missed, please drop a comment down below so I can add them to the next roundup in April. I'm going to try to release these about halfway or 2/3 of the way through the month so that people have time to back the Patreons for that month and still get those figures, but there's enough time so that creators can get some sample photos and renders out into the world so I can show you as much as I can. One final note before we move on, all the photos I have here have been drawn from the sculptors' Patrons or social media pages. I don't claim any ownership of these photos. I use them purely for journalistic purposes, as I want to try to share this information with the community so people know what they can get their hands on. Starting with the Patreons and moving in roughly alphabetical order, we're going to start with probably one of the originals, and that is Forest Dragon. Forest Dragon has 2 consumer-level pledge tiers that provide STLs. The Glade Denizen, which is $5, and Glade Noble, which is $10. All pledge tiers during the month of March will receive a pair of Corrupted Beasts and also a Demon Lord, which are the last of Forest Dragon's units for his Despoiler Chaos Warriors army. Forest Dragon is also beginning their Reptilian army this month with Reptilian Warriors, their larger melee figure, and thus they come with 5 infantry on a strip rather than the typical 6. The Glade Noble tier and also the Merchant tier will also get a unit of Dire Elf crossbows, continuing Forest Dragon's roughly month-by-month creation of a single unit for a Dire or Dark Elf. All of these miniatures are provided as supported, and both on strips or individuals. Up next is Greenskin Miniatures, which offers 1 consumer-level pledge tier that provides STLs. That's the Greenskin tier, which is $9. This month, Greenskin Miniatures is continuing their Araby army, including a wizard with 2 poses, a sandstorm spell effect, heavy guard infantry as strips of 5 or individual, and magic carpets with 2 different styles of bases. As a special note, according to Patreon, Greenskin Miniatures lives in Ukraine, which as of the date of this video is currently being invaded by Russia. I hope they're doing okay, and I hope everyone in the community can support them during this time. Now we also have MiniRat Studios, another creator living in Ukraine. At the date of this video is currently being invaded by Russia. The same as Greenskin, I hope everything is doing okay with them and that we can all support them in this time. MiniRat Studios offers 1 consumer-level pledge tier that provides STLs called RAT, which is $10. As of this video's release, MiniRat Studios has a partial release for March, which includes Mercenary Marauders. While photos are not available on their Patreon, I've drawn these photos from Excellent Miniatures, a licensed printer for MiniRat. Regardless of any other files for the rest of this month, I wish MiniRat the best and hope they know we appreciate their phenomenal work. Onmioji has 1 consumer-level pledge tier that provides STL Wizard, which is $10. Patrons this month will receive a variety of 10mm fantasy figures, including undead Egyptian snake warriors, bird constructs, battle constructs, and Cossack archers, as well as a fantastic-looking fantasy tower. Also included is a 28mm sci-fi female soldier and what appears to be a 28mm wood elf warrior in several poses. All of the miniatures are pre-supported. Tordominis is a newcomer to the 10mm fantasy STL world, having launched their Patreon in January of 2022 and already finishing an entire Eternal Pharaohs Undead Egyptian army. Tordominis offers 1 consumer-level pledge tier that provides STLs Collector, which is $8. This month, Tordominis is beginning a Skull God army, featuring demonic infantry, a big demon, a demon general, and demon riders. Later in the month, Tordo will be releasing the next wave of Dragon Dynasty figures, which are inspired by Cathay from Total War Warhammer 3. Some sample renders include this Raged unit on the left. Wake's Emporium has one consumer-level pledge tier that provides STLs, House Patron, which is $12.50. Patrons this month will receive a variety of 10mm fantasy figures and some sci-fi figures in 6mm scale for games like Epic 40K, something that Wake's Emporium also likes to focus on. The 10mm fantasy figures this month include Greater Beastkin and White Tree Militia, which continue both the Beastkin armies and the White Tree forces, suitable for battling a certain Dark Lord of the Ring. While sample renders aren't available as of today, I have pulled some renders of previous White Tree and Beastkin figures. So these are not the figures you will be receiving in March. Those sample renders are not yet available, but they should be of a similar style. Now for some recent releases from non-patrons. In future months, I'm going to try to update these month by month, but since not all websites have dates of the exact releases, some of these figures might be from March, February, or even January of 2022. Ankylo Miniatures' last release was a duo of Demon Army characters. Cromarty Forge extended their collection of 10mm terrain to include a variety of towers and windmills. They also modified their existing 10mm Gallic and Britain armies to 15mm, which is not just a rescale and involves some work that allowed them to actually thin down various portions of the miniatures so that they looked more properly scaled at 15mm. You can, of course, still buy their figures in 10mm. Polish Lightning Minis finished their mercenary line with a unit of horse artillery. Varus Miniatures does have a Patreon, but they have currently paused billing and intend to return and finish their Army of Pestilence. In the last few months, for supporters who have backed Varus Miniatures, they will receive a Demon Prince Bakor in 10mm scale, of course, to command a demon army. Varus Miniatures also released a free model on their Gumroad to celebrate 1,000 followers on Instagram. Be sure to grab the fantastic old school style Demon Prince, which is in the center bottom right, for free. Other recent releases include a Colossal Tainted One, an Albion Hero set, and the first of some Lord of the Rings figures, including a Flame Demon and a certain Grey Wizard. I hope this is of use to you, and again, if there's anything I missed, please let me know so I can include them in the April roundup. Any other comments, let me know. Anything I can do to improve these videos, especially I'll be trying to work on getting a better mic. And I hope you all have good printing this month in 10mm and others. Have a good night. Keep on painting and keep on printing.